Hello and welcome to all of you out there in the non-space that is the internet. I am your host, J Ishiro, alien outside of the human suit, and this is Ishi's Great Big Alien Show. The show where I pull off the alien or the human suit, come out as the alien that I really am, and I stop to pretend to be a skeptic and I just speak the truth. Because the truth isn't all that out there. It's right here in the bedroom.
He presents the full Marvin.
Yes, I do. The full Marvin the Martian.
But you're not from Mars.
No, I'm not. It is Zeta Reticula, planet that you guys have codenamed Serpo, not its real name. But tonight, we've got a very special topic. We're going to be discussing Brazilian UFOs. But
is that why you're getting all sexy? Because we're talking about Brazilians.
It's the full Brazilian. That's
full
it.
Brazilian. I knew Shusha wasn't from our planet.
No, she's a tall white.
Yes.
Now let me introduce our co-host, the lovely, curvaceous, and beautiful night editor.
Yes, I am the night editor, Kat Roja, and yeah. I'm not used to not being the one introducing things, so I'm a little off my game this evening.
This is my show.
I know.
I introduce shit on my show.
I know you do.
I want to come in with some stupid, sexy voice on my stupid fucking show. I get to do that.
I'm not saying anything about your sexy voice. I don't think it's stupid. You shouldn't put yourself down like that.
Oh, okay.
Just no. It's not good for your self-esteem.
I have a great self-esteem.
Well, then don't put yourself down.
Oh, okay.
This is something us humans have had to learn. Some of us by spending shit tons of money on a couch with therapy.
And what is it that has taught you?
Oh, I haven't done that.
Oh, okay.
Fuck no, I got video games. What do I need therapy for?
You know what's a good video game?
Which?
Destroy All Humans.
Yeah. What do you think of Cryptospiralian?
If there was an action movie version of my kind, it would be him.
Now, what do you think of his overlord who's voiced by Invader Zim?
That's not too inaccurate. we have annoying middle management on our planet too. I think that's universal.
Speaking of, what do you think of Invader Zim?
Nothing like my people, but very enjoyable. Completely moronic that Nickelodeon used 9/11 as an excuse to cancel it.
Yeah, what the hell?
But other than that, it was a good show. I liked it.
It wasn't aliens that crashed into the towers.
Although as good as Destroy All Humans was, it was Destroy All Humans 2 that really got it right.
Yes.
And it had the best ending because you got to bang the hot chick.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, the short alien got to bang the hot chick. That's something that you can relate to.
Yeah, after he cloned her back.
Yes.
Because she'd been blown up.
That hasn't happened to me, has it?
No.
Okay.
No. All right. So, as always, we try to get to a few questions from the audience before we dive into the show.
Yes, the first question is from Wolf10 Media. Tell us more about your disdain for ID4.
What more is there to say? I mean, first it's directed by that hack Roland Emmerich, right?
Mm-hmm.
The guy whose claim to fame was a fairly more accurate, not accurate, but an actual fairly more accurate film called Stargate. Just replace the aliens in that with reptoids and you got it. That's Stargate. He makes that movie, but not out of that wasn't him. He stole that script from a guy who eventually sued him and won. So the guy's a fucking hack. He keeps making the same movie over and over again. What if something really dumb destroys the Earth?
Mm-hmm.
And he wrecked Godzilla.
Was that his fault?
That's Roland Emmerich, yeah.
He made the iguana Godzilla?
Yes. That guy has no reason to live, much less touch a camera. He should live in shame forever. Second, ID4. Most of the plot is a direct ripoff from the 1950s version of War of the Worlds, almost scene for scene at times, which shows how little creativity that fuckhead has. Third, it totally got my people completely wrong. It was a smear piece. We would never blow your world up or, comparing us to locusts. Bull fucking shit. Now, if it had been the lizards, okay, it would have been a good movie. But no, why would we do that? I mean, we don't want to blow your Earth up. And the other thing, the idea that our computers could be hacked with a MacBook.
No, that is stupid.
I mean, screw you. I mean, it was just one great big smear piece on my kind. Our computers are so easy, you can hack them with a MacBook. Two, our strategy comes down to we're going to hover down and blow your cities up. I mean, we only get one line of dialogue in the film. Die.
No, you didn't get... You got more than that.
Well, okay, what'd the alien at Area 51 say?
The alien in Area 51 said, release me. And then... I forget what else it said, but then they said, well, what do you want us to do? And the last word was die.
Yeah, I'm a little... as if we would ever be so uneloquent. I mean, come on.
Now, but you got to admit that
and we all know the bodies are not at Area 51, nor is EB 1, 2, and 3. They're not at Area 51. Area 51 doesn't even have the facilities to put guests up like that.
No, the blue room is...
The blue room is at Wright-Patterson. So, duh. Second, Edwards and what was the other one? It was Nellis. Have the rooms set. Oh, it was and Lawrence Livermore Labs has one as well, set up for my people to have an extended stay. There's no such thing at Area 51.
Which one did you escape from?
Which one did? I came here on my own accord.
Okay.
No, I rented out this body and left.
So, well, there's one thing that you got to admit about ID4, and that is that the biological power armor that they had the aliens in. I mean, they look kind of like the Quintessons from Transformers.
I'm with Owen on this one. I would have wanted, if I had biological power armor, I would have designed mine after the Guyver.
That is very true. Guyver is pretty damn high up there on the ladder of biological weaponry.
Or I'd want mine to turn into an F-15 fighter jet, maybe. that would be cool. Have power armor that did that.
You have power armor that makes you Starscream.
Or a Raptor, yeah.
Or a Raptor. Again, Starscream.
So
probably the only good thing that came out of those Bay films.
Those movies don't exist.
Oh, okay.
So there. ID4 was a big dumb smear piece, which makes me further believe that Roland Emmerich is a lizard.
Okay.
Trying to smear my people.
I agree. It also, yeah. Victoria Fagbile asks,
wait, one more thing.
Okay.
At no point has your government captured us. We were always guests, okay? That's the other thing. None of our guys were kept captive. In fact, we got along with your government so well, we even had an exchange program. And that's how EB2 got here. They stayed here while 10 or 12 of your guys went to our planet and kind of had a vacation.
Are they still there?
No, they came back 10 years later. Well, 3 of them decided to stay. One died on the trip because he couldn't handle the long distance, and one had an accident over the 10 years, rock climbing.
Yeah. And as we all know...
and you know what? They got really pissed because we took his body and we cloned a new one, and they thought it was an abomination. We were being nice.
Well, why'd you tell them?
Well, they knew he died, so we took the body, and they kept asking for the body back. Because, well, it doesn't exist anymore. And they said, what'd you do with it? And they said, oh, we made a new one, see? And then they got really, they said it was like an abomination against God. It's like,
why didn't you tell them that you used your science to bring him back? I mean, they would have believed that.
I don't want to lie.
Well, technically, you did bring him back.
Yeah, sort of.
Well, no, sorta. I mean, does he still have all the same memories?
Mostly.
Does I know that your mistakes can be made, but it's like in movie Stargate. Person's dead, you bring them back to life.
As best as you can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Madam
anyway.
Fagbile has a wonderful question.
And she asks, is there another Earth? If so, tell me how to get there.
There are several Earths, yes. But I will quote to you the exact same thing a great science fiction writer of yours, who we had much contact with, said about those other Earths, because he could see them. If you think this Earth is bad, you should see some of the other ones. Philip K. Dick.
Dick. Okay, that makes sense.
And Dick even claims that very few of his stories were original, that they were all visions from the alternate Earths.
Interesting.
So, really, this is actually one of the better Earths. I think you guys should fight a little harder to keep it, especially after that wonderful victory in 2016, which you diverged. Now, granted, the god Keck helped you out, but you diverged from the Berenstein to the Berenstein universe, and you escaped the Hillary Earth, which doesn't exist anymore. It's a crater. It's a cinder just orbiting the sun.
So with that said, which god was it that Philip K. Dick said that he spoke with?
Ubik.
Ubik? Okay.
Yeah. Who shot messages into his brain with a pink laser, but...
Specifically a pink laser.
He was very specific about it. What he doesn't know is it wasn't Ubik. It was the Black Knight satellite. It's been up there for, like, forever.
The Black Knight has a pink laser.
Communication for telepathic communications, yes.
Okay.
How
tight is the beam on a pink laser? I mean, I know red really isn't that tight.
Not very tight.
No.
No, it's a very wide. Yeah, really, I think an ultraviolet would be a far more sensible, but you might fry someone with that.
I would think so, but yeah.
Look, I've never had the experience. I didn't build the thing. Maybe Philip was colorblind. I don't think it's for pink. But in the novel, Ubik and the Divine Invasion, he was very specific. Oh, and Radio Free Albemuth, he was very specific. The messages were being beamed into his brain from a pink laser aboard the satellite.
Is that something made by one of the other alien races? I mean, I know you said that Earth is a no-go zone, but that occasionally people are given a day pass.
I don't know. That thing's been up there for about, 50,000 years. I don't know the original designer.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if maybe your people...
We built it, but I don't... that up on our history.
Okay. Oh, don't mean to get you defensive. It's okay.
I don't know everything, okay?
I know you don't know everything. I just don't mean to get you defensive. That's okay. It's okay. You don't have to know everything.
So other dimensions, right? Well, as I said, there was the Hillary Winds dimension, that Earth's now a burning cinder orbiting the sun. There's of course the universe, the Earth where the Nazis won, very predictable, right? So the one where the Soviet Union didn't fall. There's the one where, essentially instead of...
So basically every episode of original Star Trek.
There's the Mirror universe, was an evil version of all of you there. There's one where...
Awesome. I want that cute bikini.
instead of primates becoming the dominant life, dogs did. So that's all a race of bipedal dogs.
Oh. Well,
yeah.
Wolf 10, I know, would be into that.
Yeah. Let me tell you, I prefer primates. Dogs still piss and shit anywhere. They never developed a toilet, just hydrants.
Just hydrants?
Yeah.
They developed hydrant technology.
Yeah, but
not Sir Thomas Crapper never.
No. Typical dog house has shit in every corner. It's.
Yeah, that does not sound like an appealing
place. Not a great place to visit.
No.
But, the cat dimension, they just want to kill you. So, yeah,
Ugh.
Cats aren't very nice.
No, they're not.
And the bigger they get, the more they see everything else as food.
Well,
the only reason you're not food is you're bigger than it.
Well, see, that's the problem, is that there is absolutely nothing at all different between domesticated cats and wild cats, except for size. Right down to the fact that, yes, they do see you as food, it's just you're too big. That's why they pounce on your toes. Endless Nocturne, don't you mean there's a good version of us in the Mirrorverse? No, because the good version isn't going to wear one of those awesome bikinis.
But you know, the oddest and weirdest fucking thing about the mirror universe is even my people that are hairless, right?
Mm-hmm. You have
everyone has a fucking goatee. It's the weirdest fucking thing.
Well, I was actually going to ask if
even the women.
If you had like a Magnum PI stash going.
No, everybody has a goddamn goatee.
Or facial scarring.
That too, yeah.
Yeah, you know, the rule is goatee or facial scarring.
All right.
So last question from Elton. So what about those events in Brazil? What were you up to?
Well, I'm glad you asked because that's the subject of today's show.
Thank you, Elton, for that wonderful segue.
It is the full Brazilian aliens.
Yes. The full Brazilian.
Yes.
So this aliens, you know, that...
I will get that out of the way again. Shusha is a tall white. It's not even in question. Done.
So aliens with, you know, big boobs and bikinis.
Yeah, well, tall whites with big boobs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, they're kind of a hybrid, you know.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Tall white is relative.
Yes. So let's get down to the earliest and probably most important case to come out of Brazil.
Yes.
Also the sexiest. Like I said, this was a sexy show.
Yes.
We're going to talk about the Antonio Villaboas case. Now,
is it Villa or Villa?
I don't know Spanish.
If it's two L's, it's Villa.
It's Villa?
Yeah, it's Villa. Unless Elton corrects me. I think it's Villa.
All right.
Antonio.
Antonio Villaboas was a farmer in Brazil living in Sao Paulo. And before anyone assumes this is some yokel making up a story, he actually was the owner of the farm as well as working the field because he was a hard worker. Mm-hmm. And later got his degree and became a lawyer. So no, this is not some yokel. Okay?
How big was the farm? Just out of curiosity.
Couldn't tell you.
Okay.
Antonio, at age 23, so I don't know if he was wealthy or not, probably. Born of wealth. The area had been seeing lots and lots of various sightings of weird lights in the sky. And to this day, this happens there, is that there are weird lights in the sky. So much so it was a period through, I believe, the 60s even, where that same area was plagued by lights in the sky. And they would come down and they would burn so bright that they would leave burn marks on the people that touched them. And there is evidence of this.
Really? Oh, interesting.
Now, I'm going to make something very clear. They asked, you know, our good buddy Elton asked, what was I up to? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Let's make it very clear. South America is reptoid country. Africa, South America, India, and most of the Middle East, they've claimed. We've fought them, but they've claimed it. Now, you know, there are different cartel families who claim to these regions. What you've got to understand is the reptilians at heart are cartels. They're here farming out. You guys are cattle to them. You're strictly here for amusement and farming out adrenochrome, which they then are addicted to, but they also sell to buyers across the galaxies. That's the deal, okay? And that's why they're such assholes. I'm not saying every reptoid's a dipshit, but the cartels that are here are dipshits.
They're intergalactic cow tippers.
Yes, and the best they can do is hide among you people up here in North America, and that's what's going on right now, is they're making a move, they're trying to take over. So do your responsibility. Say, welcome to Earth, fucker. Get your AR-15 and do not take any shit from a reptoid. You see a lizard, you kill it.
And we're in Arizona, and there are a lot of them.
Yeah, well, okay, but like the Gorn from Star Trek.
Yeah.
Or V. Yeah. If things start looking like V, blaze away with that AR-15,
I
man.
think I'd blaze away anyway.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like,
so
sorry, Prime Directive
wasn't my people. Now this is a little odd though. It wasn't my people, but this clearly was not a reptilian operation, which is why it's so curious. What happened was that he's out working the field where he's on a tractor because it had been so damn hot that he and his crew had been working at night.
So he wasn't alone.
No, they had actually seen the light as well more than once, a red light. But other people did too, all over the region. The night it was the last one working the field, he was by himself and again on the tractor. A very bizarre egg shape, as he said, looking craft came floating down. And let's see.
Do you have a visual? Oh.
Supposedly, this is what the vehicle looked like. And it's a very rough drawing, as you can see. It came hovering down, extended 3 legs, and some weird 5-foot-tall little guys jumped out in these suits, clearly not reptilian.
Remind me of Doctor Who villains, or at least aliens.
And they ran out. Now, keep in mind, this is a comic book impression of these things. From what I understand, the heads had looked considerably different, more like this with the square faceplate. And they drug him back into the chopper ship. And I'll tell you why I said that.
Get to the chopper.
They pulled him into the ship and took off, and they left him the craft, and they left him in a room for about an hour. They stripped him nude and they left him there. And once that happened, it was pretty much okay. Then about an hour later, shall you read that out loud?
Okay. Shortly after this, Boas claimed that he was joined in the room by another humanoid. This one, however, was female, very attractive, and naked. She was the same height as the other beings he had encountered, with a small pointed chin and large blue cat-like eyes. The hair on her head was long and white, somewhat like platinum blonde, but her underarm and pubic hair, I can't read. There we go. Pubic hair were bright red. Boas said he was strongly attracted to the woman and the two had sexual intercourse. During this act, Boas noted that the female did not kiss him, but instead nipped him on the chin.
And
that's interesting.
Started making growling noises as she fucked his brains out.
Really?
It's interesting that this description.
She's a beast.
Yeah, this is a description didn't mention that she had a perfect hourglass and big knockers too. By the way.
No.
No. In other descriptions, he's quite specific. The other thing is that he had said that her eyes were specifically like a Chinese woman.
Oh.
Which I thought was interesting.
Well, here it says blue cat-like eyes.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting, right? So they have a lot of sex, and no, seriously, apparently it went on for a while, and that they kept flooding the chamber with a weird gas as they kept going at it.
Oh, the people who had him captured were?
Yeah, and he said that the chamber kept getting him hard and hornier.
Okay.
And that once they were done, the aliens gave him his clothes back, and they gave him a tour of the ship. And he claims that to prove that it had happened, he grabbed a clock-like device off the wall and was trying to take it with him. And they fought it out of his hands. And then after that, they took him back to his field, right where they found him, and dumped him off. But not first before seeing the woman one more time, who pointed to her stomach and then pointed to the sky and smiled.
Okay, so space babies.
When they left him, he went back to his home, and he a lot of people, he was worried people wouldn't believe him. He did get checked out by a doctor, and the thing is it's one of the few cases where it's very solid evidence. It's some, usually you hear them say, oh, well, it was a weird scar, a weird tattoo, and something like that, and it's not very believable. He had a distinct incision mark under his chin, very distinctive, possibly from a needle.
Mm-hmm.
Second,
so more like a puncture wound?
Yeah. He had radiation poisoning.
Oh, did he?
He had radiation poisoning, and that's not in question.
Like, was he feeling ill, or, did he have
yeah, he got sick. He got very sick. Also, on the tip of his dong, space STD, he had a ring of blisters. Perfectly circled ring of blisters.
Space herpes.
Now, they healed up and went right away. Now, there is one other reason that could happen. If you really fucked that much and that hard, it could happen.
This is why you use lube.
Yeah.
They needed Astroglide.
Because apparently the sex was pretty rough. And she growled. So...
Again, they needed Astroglide.
Like I said, it is one of the few cases that has very, very specific evidence to it, and lots of people citing similar lights and a craft in the area. And let's see. Actually, here, let's get the exact report.
Among Boaz's symptoms were pains throughout the body, nausea, headaches, loss of appetite, ceaselessly burning sensations in the eyes, cutaneous lesions at the slightest of light bruising, which went on reappearing for months, looking like small reddish nodules, harder than the skin around them and protuberant, painful when touched, each with a small central orifice yielding a yellowish, thin, waterish discharge. The skin surrounding the wounds presented a hyperchromatic, violet-tinged area.
Space STD.
Yeah.
So, 5-foot-tall aliens in suits, nab a dude, and a tall white has sex. We don't always know what there are plenty of rogue tall white groups running around doing what they were doing. When they were created, they were meant to spread evolutionary genes among mankind. Essentially, the women are kind of wired to be nymphomaniacs. This could have just been one serious booty call.
So they're just, rogue groups of really horny women going around in spaceships and fucking people?
Well, usually they don't use spaceships. Usually they just go right into the dude's room.
Fuck. That would make feminists pissed.
Yeah. And, you can see this. The strange thing is this, you find stories very similar to this all through your history. It didn't start in the 40s and 50s.
So this isn't like something that could be, well, obviously not this because of the amount of evidence, but you said that there's like roving gangs of tall whites who are, fucking men. Or these were some...
But yet the male ones aren't horny as hell, so I suppose that's a failure. They're kind of more cold and logical like your Vulcans on TV.
Well, women want to fuck Mr. Spock.
Mm-hmm.
Well, see, they have to play hard to get, because then it appeals to the female nature of, well, I can tame him.
And keep in mind, a lot of the tall whites can just walk among you and you can't tell.
True. Like Tilda Swinton.
Yeah, like Tilda Swinton.
Although she needs a little more up top.
Yeah. Not all humans look the same. Not all tall whites are as endowed as others.
No, true. But she's pretty awesome.
So, really what this kind of rings of are the Fae.
Okay. So explain the, you've explained it to me, but I don't think to our audience. Explain the Fae connection.
I'm drawing a blank.
You're drawing a blank then?
Yeah. What did I tell you?
what you shared with me that a lot of the Fae legends come out of Tall White, specifically as written by Shakespeare, Oberon and Titania.
Yeah, Oberon and Titania.
Mm-hmm.
That's where those stereotypes came from.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, that translated into...
and yeah, for a while, they even had a kingdom set up, and they were operating openly at Newgrange. As well as the Basque region and in Taiwan.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's just throughout history. There are always stories throughout Greek mythology of visits.
So, is there anything else to Brazil? You said that Brazil has...
Well, there's a secondary theory about this.
Yeah?
But it does not explain the Tall White.
Okay.
Now, as we can see, it was an egg-shaped craft, right?
Mm-hmm.
In this time, helicopters were rare, especially in Brazil. And we do know that your CIA was operating in the area.
Mm-hmm. It is an egg-shaped craft.
Now, it certainly doesn't look big enough to have a sex room and to give a tour.
No, it does not. But then again, I know our CIA was experimenting with a lot of drugs at the time.
Yeah, no reason they couldn't have taken him back to a location that he thought he was still aboard a ship.
Yeah.
We do know that the CIA was using parts of Brazil to test things out. And the description of the suit he kept describing had a square faceplate, and the details of the suit were very specific, and they're not unlike this, one of the early radiation suits. Now, it is a possibility and that the CIA was testing MK Ultra type techniques, as well as using poor sons of bitches out in the fields, who they thought were peasants that nobody'd believe, to test on, including radiation exposure. What it doesn't explain is where the hell a Tall White would come from and decide to have a crazy booty call in the middle of the night, and why that would happen. So it doesn't line up.
No. So.
And so that's that.
It is a mystery.
It is a mystery. So we have any interesting comments on this?
Let's see here. We are scrolling
Okay.
up.
Him being a lawyer doesn't help his case.
Underworld Dream. Him being a lawyer doesn't help his case. Everyone knows lawyers lie.
That is true. Oh, I should also add one more thing about reptoids. Reptoids really have a problem with pale people. Just saying.
Damien asks, are the reptoids intimidated by the Florida gator tamers?
Probably are. No, in reptoid culture, they feel that the best adrenochrome comes from people who are very pale. Also, they think that they're the best source for magic and doing corpse magic on. So...
Oh, reptoids are into magic?
Oh, yeah, they're Satanists.
Well, okay. Well, I mean, you can be a Satanist and still have technology, so... username, as opposed to the 80s hairy aliens?
I'm not familiar with 80s hairy aliens.
Neo Star Productions, the brilliant star that shines through the night, the chilling scream you can hear in space. Riserman stands before you. LK, this guy isn't married by chance, is he?
Yes, he is, actually. He wasn't married at the time, but he is now. Let's see.
Mark Alcatraz, she must have had pubic hair like steel wool.
Couldn't tell you. I wasn't there. I didn't try it.
Didn't try it. Username. Hey, not everything in Brazil is related to sex. Just don't think about how they made it to 300 million people. Endless Nocturne. That description of a space STD is totally creepy. Extra creepy is that it probably turned someone on. Yeah. Yeah, there's probably somebody out there who's like, I wish that would happen to me.
Well, Via Boas was extremely turned on by it, apparently.
Neostar, roving games of space Amazons, shagging dudes and moving on. Sounds fun.
Well, I should tell you, we'll do an episode sometime where it happened to a guy in Australia and had evidence left behind.
Oh.
Which is pretty weird.
You tease? You're not going to cover it tonight. This is not the
No.
completely sexy show, is it?
No.
We'll have to do a sexy show. Neostar, who wouldn't want a Brazilian booty call? Elton, well, while that was not too bad, since the guy is alive, we did had some worse stuff in here from what I remember.
If you can say, do you mean worse stuff in this story that you hadn't heard about, or worse stuff in Brazil? Because there is another case I was going to bring up now.
Yes. Please share.
Now, how do you
What?
how do you say this?
I'm totally gonna slaughter it.
Vargina?
Yeah, Vargina
UFO Incident.
Yeah, and I probably slaughtered it.
Now, this one happened in 1996, far more recent. And it's another one of those cases where people in the area kept seeing lights in the sky over and over again, kept seeing weird objects. Like I said, Brazil's a hot spot for that. And you can say, well, there's drones now and things like that, but it's been this way since at least the 40s, if not before.
Is there like a mountain range or caves or something nearby where somebody could be hiding out?
Well, as I told you, the whole area, the whole underground has been taken over by reptoids.
No, true. But what I mean is Brazil is a really large country. So is it like one specific section of Brazil seems to be having the majority of these sightings?
The southern region seems to have most of it.
The southern region. Does it also extend into the surrounding countries?
Well, the problem is the other surrounding countries we don't get a lot of talk from. The only other country that reports a lot of this stuff because of just, a lot of those countries are third world countries. Mm-hmm. So you don't get many stories out of them. They don't have a regular press, or if they do, it doesn't get back to us.
Or you wind up with weird ass cryptid stories like the Chilean velociraptors.
The only other nation to regularly report stuff is Argentina.
Ah, okay.
But then they're not a third world country.
No.
So, can I get you to read this?
Okay. Again, I'm sorry, Elton. Please correct me if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Vargina Ufo Incident is the name given to a series of events involving the alleged sightings and capture of the Brazilian military of an extraterrestrial being in Vargina, Brazil in 1996. Such reports were first broadcast on the Sunday TV show Fantástico de Rede Globo, and gathered media coverage worldwide, including an article in the Wall Street Journal. It has since become a well-known case in modern Brazilian ufology. The Brazilian government has officially denied any claims of being involved in the capture of an extraterrestrial biological entity, or an EBE, but some theorists claim otherwise, accusing the government of a cover-up. For some, the lack of reliable sources is evidence against its actuality. The testimony of unnamed, anonymous, official individuals are frequently featured. UFO investigator... Nope. Okay.
That's enough of that.
Okay.
Now, the interesting part about this story is that, from what I understand... okay, well, actually, you want to just... Fuck it. This will explain it better than I can.
Okay. According to media reports, the creature was first sighted by three women ranging from ages 14 to 22 years old. Sisters Liliana, or Liliane, sorry,
You can
and
skip the names.
okay, and their friend. They allegedly saw the creature in the afternoon of January 20th, 1996, a biped about 1.6 meters or 5 feet tall, with a large head and very thin body, with V-shaped feet, brown skin, and large red eyes. It seemed to be wobbly or unsteady, and the girls assumed it was injured or sick. The Silva sisters said they fled and told their mother they had seen, quote, the devil. The woman did not believe them up until she went to the area where they had allegedly seen the creature and smelled a strong ammonia-like odor, and, not brimstone, and found nothing but its footprints and a dog sniffing the place. After relating their tale to family and friends, rumors began to spread throughout the city regarding UFO sightings and alien creatures being abducted by the military forces. 2 days later, another creature was allegedly found lying along the road. 3 military trucks were supposedly sent to retrieve it. A similar creature was reportedly seen at the local zoo by its janitor. The following months, 3 animals mysteriously died.
Now, the official cover story was that this was a homeless man who was sick.
Okay.
Now, I don't know how you get a gray who has lizard skin, weird ridges on its head, and reptoid feet.
This is a hybrid?
If I had to guess, it's those fuckers experimenting on my people again, they love screwing with us. They have kidnapped our people. We've had wars with them. They've enslaved our people. And the thing is, why they suddenly took an interest in you is they found that you're a better source of adrenochrome than we are.
I am suddenly reminded of Scorpius and Farscape.
Why?
Because he's a half-breed between their version of the reptoids and humans.
They don't.
Not humans; they're sebaceous.
And they don't like us because we're smarter than them and we're not assholes. So they were probably trying to crossbreed so they could have a smarter reptoid or another type of subservient. And clearly they hosed it up because the thing was sick and died, and another one died by the side of the road. But yeah, we don't have V-shaped feet. Those are reptilians. We don't have ridges on our head or lizard skin. So yeah, I think it was a hybrid, and they did a crap job, and it died.
Your people have no intelligence on it, or they can't say.
Can't say. This is best I know. But I can tell you that it wasn't a homeless man.
No.
And I will say we do sometimes smell like ammonia.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And we're very, very sick.
Fun.
And so that's the second major story I can cover. I wish I could say more about it, but there really isn't much more to say. Finally, the third story that's going on right now as we speak is that, again, mysterious yellow-colored lights have been spotted all over. And let's see. Supposedly, and there is lots of footage of it, of some sort of craft crashed in north of Rio de Janeiro. And a lot of people saw this thing. They said it was in a triangular formation, and that when it crashed, the area was apparently Google Earth got real weird with it. The area was blocked off. Helicopters were circling it, and videos of it were being pulled off YouTube.
Interesting.
And
the article Ishi is looking at is dated May of this year.
Now, I'm going to solve this real quickly for you.
Okay.
This one isn't reptilian. It isn't us. If it's a triangular shaped UFO, it's human. That's one of yours. You guys must have been test flying it. Maybe the Brazilians were letting them test fly it there. Maybe they were spying on Brazil. Who knows? It crashed. Probably it flew over a magnetic anomaly or something in the Earth's magnetic field, got out of alignment, and crashed. So that's my take on it. I couldn't tell you otherwise. But if you dig around on YouTube, you might still be able to find some of the footage. But yeah, again, Brazil is having lots and lots of UFO sightings, which I find interesting.
No, it's very interesting.
And yes, the US military does do a lot of tests in the region, with or without the permission of the Brazilian government, from what I understand. All right, so let's see if we've got some fun questions.
Okay, let's see here. Scrolling up. Alton, to this day, people still talk about this, even in, okay, he gave me the pronunciation, Vargina. So even in Vargina. Thank you, Alton.
Virginia?
Vargina. See? Vargina.
Vargina, okay. And yeah, there are claims that the bodies were taken back to a hospital and then disappeared.
Interesting. And they were bodies, they weren't survivors or in critical condition?
I don't know.
No.
It's Reptoid country.
It's Reptoid country.
We don't have intel on it.
Ricky Joya, was this incident referenced in Signs? I was wondering that too. Our family laughs every time the Brazilian boy shouts, "It's behind," in perfect English.
You know, I didn't really consider that. You're right. That could be the reference.
That scene is hysterical.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is that the birthday party or?
No, that's when he's watching the video footage of the Reptoid walking around in a village.
Oh, okay. Yet some people say that was the scariest part of the movie.
Oh, I laughed my ass off. I thought it was terrible, but maybe it's like The Exorcist.
Probably. You're married to a gray.
Yeah, you know.
It's kind of hard to take things like that seriously.
I've seen it all. Loquacious primate. What's the strangest alien you would be willing to have sex with? How far could you go? Xenomorph?
No.
You don't want a face hugger?
No. Nope, not at all. Let's see. Have to really think about that one. I guess as far as I'd be willing to go, I don't know, Tilda Swinton.
Okay, there you go.
Let's see.
You really can't go wrong with her. Owen, sounds like the Reptoids were trying to make a poor man's version of a zoonoid.
You know, I'd do the Borg Queen.
Why? Because fucking crazy is fun?
Oh, I just meant on looks.
Oh, just on looks. No, I know that the rule is, you know, you fuck crazy, but you don't stay with it.
Yeah.
Ricky Joya, I can believe strange sky sightings in the Argentinian sky. It goes with my theory that George Louis Borges was a Time Lord.
George Louis Borges is a very, very famous writer.
Ah. Elton, indeed, it was quite weird when that happened.
Anything you can report on that, I'd love to hear.
Let's see. Mad Ginger, I only pity the fool who don't eat Mr. T cereal. Elton, you might be curious to look later about the case from the... Oh, I'm sorry, Elton. Guarapirenga mutilation. It is one of the weirdest, too. That sure looks like reptoids.
Yeah, just keep in mind that the Aztecs pretty much learned their culture from the reptoids. And in fact, a lot of them...
Right down to the protection racket?
Yeah. And the reptoids were getting kind of pissed that the humans were doing a better job at it.
Well, I figured that they would just want to sit back and...
No, they're jealous people.
Oh, okay.
It's like, oh, wait a minute. The humans are doing a better job at it. We're going to have to crush them.
You can't just sit back and, like, reap the rewards? Stone Dog, we can't stay here. This is Reptoid country. Endless Nocturne. Do reptoids make ET pornos to try and get your people to destroy Earth? Oh, why do you have to bring those up? Those are terrifying.
If you're talking about those videos that Cinema Snub covered,
yeah, those are hideous.
I walked in on Cat watching the review of that, and I'm sorry I did. The German one was
the German one.
It was set in
Victorian England.
Victorian, and it's a bunch of really very unattractive German people, which is really like there are some really hot German women. Why would you make them the really ugly ones?
Because.
And they were fucking this disgusting looking ET puppet.
It wasn't a puppet. That was a woman wearing an ET mask.
I'm even more disturbed.
Yeah, and they slathered her in some weird ass body paint to make her
I mean, if you're
brown.
gonna watch a porno by the Germans, give us some Aryan goddess. Give us a Valkyrie, not an old lady. Why?
Why? Because German, that's why.
Germans are perverse people. I mean, it's kind of it's like, I think as far as sick goes, they outdo the Japanese, but the Japanese outdo them in weird.
Yes, very much so.
But I will say that apparently the Via Boas case was turned into a porno called Lust in Space, I believe. Mm-hmm. No, it was 2 different pornos were made based on it.
2, not just 1, but 2.
Yeah, and I think there was also one of those Tijuana Bibles.
Is this one of the intergalactic equivalent of a woman showing up delivering pizza to fuck you?
Kinda, yeah.
LK, Natasha Henstrig.
Long as she doesn't turn into the species lady, I'm okay with her.
Yeah.
She's all that.
Yes. Very much so. Crash Reeserman, what is the Mothman? An escaped pet, or are your people playing a practical joke?
Oh, I told you, that's interdimensional travel. That thing slips in and out of another dimension. It's a Batman cosplayer. I'm sorry. I know you wanted something more impressive, but it's that the species from that dimension cosplaying as Batman. He thinks he's running around your worlds fighting crime, but he's a dork.
Okay, so he's not like an intergalactic version of Batman Year 100.
No.
He's not that cool.
So I don't know.
Username. Who would you cast as the alien chick for a Species remake?
I'm not up on actresses right now.
Pick anybody then.
I don't know.
I
can't answer that.
As long as the remake is good and isn't lame, because my problem with the original is that it was a great film until she became an adult.
I can talk about that.
Okay.
There was a lot of 1990s era meddling with that film.
Yeah.
The original script was apparently very, very different. And as the production continued, more and more changes kept getting applied to it. And then at the 11th hour, they were told, okay, well, one, the little creature cannot come out of the vag.
You're dealing with a Geiger creature.
So it had to crawl.
Shocked that it's going to be perved?
So it had to crawl out of the stomach.
Okay.
So they do it. And then suddenly they're like, you know what? Even though it's an evil alien here to kill Earth, you can't kill a kid on screen. It has to be at least a teenager.
And that's why it rapidly grew for no reason.
And they're running out of money.
Mm-hmm. And that effect is terrible.
And another thing was that Giger had this really cool idea for how the species creature would kill people, right? He didn't want the idea of her tongue shooting through people's heads. He thought that was just moronic.
Well, it's also too close to the xenomorph.
And the original design he had was that her tongue was something like 4 feet long. And that when she would kiss somebody, the tongue would go all the way down into the stomach and curl, right, like a snake.
Mm-hmm.
and then it was barbed, and the entire thing would be like fish hooks, and it would pull back out.
And rip out the person's organs, right?
Yeah, which then they just didn't go for it, and they said that's too graphic. And really, that film could have been good. It could have been a good movie.
No, I thought that the concepts for it, the concept designs, and again, that whole sequence where Syl is a child, I thought was brilliant.
Yeah, that was probably the closest intact.
Mm-hmm. And really had the bit of a strange alien creature who's been living her entire life in a lab suddenly unleashed upon the world. And that was brilliant. It's just what happened after that was stupid. Artificer Joni, how does all of this tie into chupacabras?
Okay, Joni, I'm going to assume you're a new listener because I've actually explained the chupacabra already on an episode, but I'll recap it for you.
Well, people like hearing about the chupacabra.
Chupacabra's Walter. That's just Walter. Now, Walter was one of us. Walter was on a regular abduction crew. I worked with the guy, and he, for whatever reason, just got really obsessed with coyotes. And he started cosplaying as a coyote, and he kept wearing coyote outfits. And he started insisting that we all call him a coyote, not a gray. And he was just really, really obnoxious. And you got to keep in mind, we've got a lot of biotech. So then he started modifying himself, trying to look more and more like a coyote. And he wasn't very good at it. I mean, and, finally one day we were down in Mexico, and we'd abducted somebody, and we were returning the body, right? The person's still in paralysis. We're phasing through the walls and putting her back in her bed. Meanwhile, Walter's out front running around, howling at the moon, acting like he's, hey, I'm a coyote, guys. Look, I'm a coyote. And we're all looking at each other, and we're thinking, we don't have to take him back with us. We're out in the middle of nowhere. And we just kind of waited for him to run over behind a bluff and start howling, and we all just phased up to the ship and left him there. That's the chupacabra. That's Walter. He's an idiot. He probably thinks he's a coyote now. And, he's completely failed at it, because what does he do? He goes around and eats goats.
This is like the alien equivalent of somebody living their Dances with Wolves dream.
No, it's otherkin.
Oh, it's otherkin. Okay.
Unfortunately, we're not free of otherkin either. So we just ditched him one day, and we just told High Command, don't know, ran off. Just don't know what happened to Walter.
Otherkin are better than headmates.
And nobody had any problem with us losing him.
That one. Elton, we have a region in Brazil called the Alto Palácio. I am totally slaughtering it. Or High Paradise, close to the center of Brazil, and some people seem to consider it a great place to see UFOs, aka OVNIs in Portuguese. Oh, that's interesting.
I'll look into that.
I had not known that the Portuguese called them OVNIs.
Okay.
He's notating.
So let's get the last few questions, and we'll call it a night.
Okay. LK wants to know, is the Marisibo Observatory in Brazil?
Yeah, I believe it is.
I think so. Let's see. And Wolf 10 wants to know what you think of the Elfin lead.
Elfinly felt really pedo to me, man. That opening sequence, the theme song and all that was beautifully done, but after that, I don't know. Especially that scene where they go to the zoo. Look at the giraffe, it's so long. Look at the elephant, it's so big. Look at it grow. Look, we all know what you're getting at.
Let's see here. Anime Acid Trip says, whoops.
Oh, sorry.
Says Walter the alien furry.
Yes, that's exactly what he is.
Comics Division says hi and what's up.
Hey, man, how's it going? And,
Acid Trip says that Elfin League is some crazy shit.
well, I would say that this has been a successful hour-long show. Glad that you all joined us.
Yeah.
I think next week we are going to do, oh God, what was it? Oh, we're going to do Skinwalker Ranch because I've done some research and boy, you're going to love what really is going on there.
Oh, Skinwalker Ranch is there's some crazy shit, but not what you'd think.
Nope, not at all. I've got the straight story on Skinwalker Ranch and it has nothing to do with my people.
No Yana Glanchi, huh?
No Yana Glanchi.
No.
Yana Glanchi, baby.
Yana Glanchi, baby.
All right. Well, thank you for all joining us. As always, please go to Amazon.com and check out my novella Scars. It's only 99 cents. It's
or free if you have Amazon Prime.
Somewhere between A Boy and His Dog and The Rats of Nim, about a fallen astronaut who is paired up with a hyper-intelligent rat. It's the greatest buddy story you've never read.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening.